Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horn, and I'm bringing you a video tonight titled "The Sexually Attractive, Childless, Misunderstood Black Man." We're going to take a deep dive. Before we go any further, always know my videos in the dating space. They're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm. Thank you to all my new subscribers and to everyone who's been commenting and engaging with me. I appreciate you and I hear you. And that's why I'm bringing this particular title to you tonight. The Sexually Attractive, Childless, Misunderstood Black Man. This video derived from something that I was going to do anyway, but one of my commenters on my last video, he's from the DMV just like me. We both live here. That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And he was talking about how he's very together, in shape, cerebral, intelligent, successful, and attractive. And he was puzzled as to why he's not getting the experiences that matches the version of himself that he's presenting to the world every day. And he's not alone. There's a lot of, especially in this area, one of the most affluent collection of black men and black people in the United States. There's a lot of men who are very together, childless, attractive, have appeal, have a trail of results behind them, and women are playing games and just don't know what to do with us. And so that's why I had to bring this video tonight. But there's a lot of women who understand that as a sexually attractive, childless black man that's accomplished and that has a trail of results behind him, you're at the top of the food chain. And we're misunderstood, and you even misunderstood some of the treatment that you get from women because it's an uncomfortable space to be in as a woman, no matter how gorgeous or accomplished she is, when you actually encounter a man who is at the top of the food chain. And a lot of times their first instinct is to try to poke holes in you. They would rather poke holes in you than to experience you. And that's where the confusion comes in with the gentleman who made the comment, who was the inspiration for this video. They're not prepared for you. The kind of men that they deal with are not on your level. If you've done things right, you've elevated, you somehow made it to a age where you're still relatively young, but you're getting a little bit older, you're successful, you're groomed well, you dress well, that man is in very short supply. And you're single and childless, which makes them even more puzzled when they meet you. So instead of saying, this is a man at the top of the food chain, let me act right and let me see if I can pair myself with him, their insecurities are going to immediately encourage them and make them poke holes in you. And let me give you an example. Since I have some people from the DMV in my comments from my last video, I went to a networking event at the park. If you're from here, you know exactly what that is. And it was a Thursday, a day I would probably normally go there. But I, went and found a networking event. It was with an organization I wasn't familiar with. And I'm always trying to grow and expand my businesses. So that's where I was. And I go to the bar, they rented out a whole floor, and I get my beverage, and there's two ladies, and they're looking at me. And so I'm like, okay, these are gonna be the first two people I talk to. And as I'm talking to them, and we introduce ourselves to each other, one lady is very high up in the organization who threw the event. And her friend was in her 40s, divorced, and she was just there, I guess, supporting her friend. And so we were all talking, and it was networking. So they asked me what I do for a living, and I say, hey, I have a self-development company, I have a book publishing company, I've written 7 books, author, motivational speaker, dating coach, and they're intrigued. And so the one who was divorced, she then began to go through the progression of questions in an attempt to poke some holes in me because they just can't believe you exist for whatever reason, their misconception about black men. So she's just like, you don't have any children and you do this for a living and you have all of this going for you. And she just kind of paused and she says, "Are you gay?" And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, this is incredible, man. I said, no, I'm not gay. So a lot of, especially black women, when they're meeting extremely elevated, attractive, and childless black men, their first course of action is to poke holes in you as opposed to experiencing you. To poke holes in you reaffirms them that they haven't missed out on these good black men out here. And I know it's a little bit deep, but they have to invalidate you, because if they don't invalidate you, then they are automatically invalidated within themselves, because they haven't been able to pair themselves with one of these high-level, childless, attractive, quality black men. So they would rather make you feel inferior based on the inferiority complex that they have within themselves, based on their inability to have paired themselves with one of these men. So they would rather act like you don't exist than to acknowledge that you exist, because if they acknowledge that you exist, then they have to acknowledge that they fell short. And that's how deep this is. And I was taken aback, but it's nothing out of the ordinary for, black women to try to poke holes in this kind of man, just for the reasons I just explained. And her friend just kind of looked at her, because we all just met. I wasn't disrespectful. And her friend just kind of looked at her, and she, I guess, apologized in her own way, but she really wasn't apologetic. And then she's tested me as a dating coach, so she asked me some questions about dating, and I gave her some expert answers with no thought. I just gave her the answers. I'm like, yeah, I'm good at this. And I just had to let her know, like, you're not going to invalidate me. I'm very affirmed in who I am. And she said, you're very confident in yourself, aren't you? I said, yeah, I'm good at this. Meaning that you can't poke holes in me, I'm too proven. But that's essentially what this video is about. You're misunderstood, because a lot of black women want to tell themselves that you don't exist, because they don't want to admit that they missed out on men like you, or they can't pair themselves with you. So you're misunderstood. And the narrative about us is that we're out here seeding everything, we have children everywhere, and it's a false narrative. If you just look at the statistics, 54% of black men are single and childless. There's more childless black men than men with children. And 60% of us are in the middle class, so the majority of us are doing very well for ourselves. And that's where you're misunderstood. You're misunderstood because even if a woman has prayed to meet somebody like you, even if a woman wants someone like you, she says she wants you, when you actually meet her, she has to stare at whatever insufficiencies are within her that constantly has her pairing with inferior men who are not on your level. And that's where you're misunderstood. That is where you're misunderstood. And so just like the gentleman who asked me to make the video, he doesn't understand why women react to us this way. But this is why. Because they're dealing with inferior men. The Pookies and the Ray Rays that you hear about on YouTube, those are real men. And a lot of women, no matter how gorgeous they are, no matter how accomplished they are, no matter how educated they are, they're dealing with inferior men. And they're dealing with them because they feel comfortable with them. Because they know they haven't developed themselves into women who could deal with and stay in the space of the elevated, childless, sexually attractive black man who's at the top of the food chain, who every woman says that they want. They haven't done the work. Even the Bible says, faith without works is dead. So you can make a proclamation that you want a certain type of man, but if you know that you haven't done the work, you're immediately intimidated when you enter that man's space. And that's the explanation of the misunderstood, childless, sexually attractive, accomplished black man. That's why you're misunderstood. You're misunderstood. I'm saying women don't know what to do with you. So a lot of times you'll see men who aren't as attractive as you and who aren't as accomplished as you, and you'll quote unquote see them with a bad joint, a bad chick. But that woman could have a better man, but she's comfortable with him. And that's what you have to accept as an extremely elevated and attractive, successful black man. And if you're childless, you just have to accept that women are going to be uncomfortable in your space because they haven't calibrated themselves to deal with a man like you. In life, we get exactly who we are and what we are. So the woman is going to be uncomfortable because even though she prayed for you and wants you, she hasn't done the work to calibrate herself to you. And when a woman is calibrated to you, she's not poking holes in you. She's thanking God that she met you because she sees herself as a match, because she's let the inferior men go. She's done whatever self-growth that she needed to do, and she views you as her match. And that's the only women that you should allow to remain in your space, is a woman who feels comfortable there because her comfort is based on her level of preparation for you. That's as simple as it gets. And it can be discouraging. Like I could hear the puzzling and the discouragement in the gentleman who left the comment on my last video. But I just want to say to him and to everybody else, don't be discouraged. If you're an elevated black man and you don't have any children and you're sexually attractive and you have all of the attributes that are a representation of an elevated man that every woman says that they want, don't be discouraged. All you are, you're just in a holding pattern. That's all you are. You're in a holding pattern. You're in a holding pattern until you come across the woman who's calibrated herself to a man like you and who knows that she deserves to be in your space. The one who's not going to try to poke holes in you. The one who's not going to try to invalidate you. The one who's just going to have a red beam of desire and lust in her eyes as soon as she meets you. And when she finds out how elevated you are, she's going to make up in her mind that I'm going to do everything in my power not to let this man go. That's the woman that you're in the holding pattern for, and she does exist. She does exist. So you can't get discouraged when you see men who aren't on your level with these quote-unquote bad chicks and this and that, because at the end of the day, a lot of these women are boxing below their weight class because that's where they're comfortable, because they haven't done the work to deal with an elevated man who's clicking on all cylinders. So you're the outlier, and your experiences are going to be opposed to what people would think would make sense as to the type of women you would deal with and how women would deal with you. But it's puzzling. You're misunderstood. They don't know what to do with you. I meet women all the time, and they see me, and I'm tall. Like I'm every inch of 6'5", and I'm keeping myself in shape. And I meet women. I mean, some women, they just go with it. They're like, I'm not letting you go anywhere. Like, it's cool. We have a good time. We have a good encounter, however long it lasts. And then other women, like, they're very attracted to you. But then the question is, do you have any children? Or, what about this? And when was your last relationship? Are you still in love with her? Like, they're trying to poke holes in you because they don't want to believe you exist, because they have the Einstein equation going in their mind as soon as they meet you. And the Einstein equation is the men that they regularly deal with versus the man that you are that's in their presence. And the Einstein equation is calculating in their mind because they're so used to dealing with lower tier men that they have leverage over, that they can treat any kind of way. So a lot of times they look at you and they already know, like, they can't run their games on you. They can't play with you. You're uncomfortable. You might get their number and never hear from them again. You text them, they don't hit you back. Or, you all might have a nice time that night. That's how it happens for sexually attractive men. Those women offer themselves to you. You might go off, have a good time, and you did everything right. You're respectful. You made things happen. You made sure she was taken care of, if you really understand what I'm saying. She was pleasured, the whole nine, and then you might never hear from her again because you make her uncomfortable. And so I just don't want you all to get discouraged by women who haven't calibrated themselves to the kind of man that you are. And just understand that you are in a holding pattern until you meet the woman who has some sense, the woman who's worked on herself, and the woman who understands that you are a direct reflection of the woman that she's evolved into, that you are her match. That's when you're off the market. But until then, continue to improve yourself. Don't be discouraged. Become even better. Because when you meet that right woman, she's going to recognize you. And that's why you do away with the women who haven't calibrated themselves to be in your space, because you're not recognizable to them. They're not supposed to be able to see you, and they're supposed to play the games. They're supposed to disrespect. They're supposed to do exactly what they're doing because they're not calibrated to even recognize the magnitude of man that you are. And even if they do, they haven't prepared themselves to stay in your space. And that's the explanation. But the last thing I want to say is, as the sexually attractive, childless, elevated, successful black man, keep taking your shots, man. Everywhere you go, grocery store, a lounge, a club, church. I even know sometimes when I run my trail, I run about 4 times a week, and it's a relatively affluent, working class area. I mean, women are checking you out. You never know who's going to be who. So every time you come across an attractive woman, then you shoot your shot. You introduce yourself, because all it's going to take is one. So you're misunderstood to the majority, but you're recognizable to the one that's calibrated for you. And keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged. Continue to elevate yourself. Continue to work on yourself. Keep yourself groomed. Be safe out here. Keep yourself childless. Continue to elevate in your career, your ambitions, and your dreams. And all you're doing is making yourself more recognizable to the woman who is not going to misunderstand you, but who's going to revere you as her exact match. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, bringing you a video tonight titled, The Sexually Attractive, Childless, Misunderstood Black Man. It's been brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. And I'm going to pause there for a second. Some of you all have been letting me know that you're ordering my books, and thank you. And some people have been expressing that they put them in all of my books in the Amazon cart. But order directly from my website, www.matthewchorne.com. I can autograph the books for you that way, and I'm probably a little bit faster than Amazon as well. And it helps me too. Amazon takes their piece. But yeah, thank you to everybody who's been helping me to elevate and grow. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been enjoying engaging with you all, and I'm going to keep these videos coming consistently. This is what everyone told me to do, and it's working. Everybody's benefiting, so I'm going to keep these videos coming. If you have a particular topic, just like the gentleman in the comment who I made this video for, if you have a particular topic that you want me to speak on, then I'll do this until I build my dating website. Just drop something in my donation information, something respectable, like $50 and up, and just let me know the video title. Put a note, whether it's Cash App or PayPal. Just put a note and let me know that you want me to make a video. I'll make it within 24 hours, I promise. And that's pretty much it. Continue to engage. And if this video has been of value to you, if you know that your thought processes have been elevated from hearing this message, don't forget to drop something in my donation information. And if you know that you could benefit from coaching from someone like me, Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. We'll set up a consultation, and we'll get you moving in the direction of your optimal outcomes and desires in the dating space. I've enjoyed spending some time with you tonight. More videos on the way, and just continue to believe in yourself. Understand that you will be misunderstood by a large majority of people, but continue to do the right things, show up the right way, and you'll get the exact outcomes. It's only a matter of time. I'll see you soon.